Chapter 5, Dinner is Served.
I think it's rather decent of you to come here and help me like this.
Fig says, petting his cat, Ochre. That is a really cool name for a cat.
Ben, you need to get a cat. I just would love to hear what you would name a cat.
I could tell you what I have names of stuffed cats. You sit at the edge of an uncomfortable and creepy? That's the wrong word.
Ew.
The edge of an uncomfortable and creaky hassock. It's creepy, too. In Figs' cramped artist's garret in downtown Woodland Center. The whitewashed walls bristle with hideous abstract paintings at different stages of completion, and the floor is bespattered with a thick layer of dried paint.
I'm not the tidiest painter.
Figs says.
That's because I paint with passion. I let out what is inside of me.
He points to a particularly large canvas in progress, which depicts a series of brightly clashing zigzags and question marks with a balloon or a lollipop atop them. The painting is titled Our Present State of Government. Things have not changed.
As you can see, I'm not above social commentary.
Getting to the point at hand, you say, Mopsy said that you are in need of assistance? Mopsy had been absolutely insistent, in fact, and she enlisted Rory's aid in persuading you that you simply had to head into town and do whatever Figs needed you to do. You think back to that moment just a few hours ago when Rory and Frankincense had returned to the crowd after having their talk. A brief flashback.
Yes, we gotta know what happened.
Heck yes. My good friends.
Frankincense had said, tapping on a glass with a fork.
Well, he and I have a very exciting announcement to make. We are officially announcing that we are engaged to be married and that we have set a date. We will be married in 3 months. You return alone.
You chose her!
No!
She paused for Rory to chime in.
Yes, rather.
Added Rory.
Just as she... Sorry, let me do that again. Just as she said... Oh my gosh, why is that giving me
Because Rory is feeling emotionally fraught right now.
Just as she said. Can't really add much to that, so cheers.
Rory looked happy. The weight of the decision finally lifted from his mind.
No!
There was applause and congratulations all around. Yet Primrose looked quite pleased and told Rory that he had done the right thing. It was in the context of this fraught emotional moment that Mopsy collared Rory and told him to order you to help Figs.
Go on, Cotswold.
Rory said.
Do what Mopsy entreats. She and Figs deserve a little happiness.
Unlike me. Why did you agree?
I mean, we want to help Mopsy and Figs, don't we?
We're our buddies.
I specifically wanted to help Mopsy and Figs. At least somebody can have a happy ever after.
I'm still bummed out. So he could have picked us. And he didn't.
The game's not over.
Okay.
And if it makes you feel any better, this isn't spoiling anything because I don't know anything about this game, but in Jeeves and Worcester, people got engaged all the time and things were called off and it was messy, basically. So
Messy
I guess
is a good
we'll
way to
see.
put it. Of course, you said, when Mopsy and Rory asked, I would be more than happy to assist in any way possible.
That's jolly good of you to say, Cotswold.
Rory said.
I can't bear to see Mopsy cry, especially at a time like this. You, however, that's fine.
Bring him right away.
Mopsy said.
Every minute is an eternity.
Just as our heart is breaking a little bit.
A lot bit.
I'm just gonna see, how is our relationship with Rory now? It went to even higher.
I wish we could see his relationship with Frankincense. That'd be interesting.
Back to Figs' studio.
And so that's our plan.
Figs concludes.
What do you think?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you say that one more time? I was lost in a reverie. Figs paces back and forth in front of you, hands clasped behind his back.
I was saying that you need to help me prepare a disguise so that I can stroll into Returnell unchallenged. Rory always speaks of your knowledge of clothing and fashion, and so naturally I assumed...
He trails off. But disguised as what? Figs brightens.
That's the genius part of the plan. As you may note, one Professor Clarence Q. Hickory was scheduled to join the throng at Primrose's, but according to local gossip, he had to cancel his travel plans at the last moment. Sent his apologies and so forth. My notion is that I can simply disguise myself as this Dr. Clarence Q. Hickory and saunter in.
That's your plan?
Well, it's Mopsy's plan. She's very clever. Told her aunt that she needed to place a call in order to purchase some bicarbonate of soda, but instead she had a telegram sent to me. Clever girl. See here.
He holds out the telegram for you to read.
Disguise as Professor Clarence Q. Hickory. Stop. Will send Cotswold to help you. Stop. Come to dinner. Stop. Butterscotch. Stop.
What is that butterscotch at the end? Figs chortles.
We have many private little jokes that only we understand. It's like our own secret language. For example, if she says butterscotch, that means, I love you, my sweet and cuddly yum yum. She calls me her yum yum.
Oh no. Why butterscotch?
I mean, that sounds like another pet name.
Yes, but I'm sure there's a silly anecdote or something. Let's ask. Why butterscotch?
Oh. I wonder if you would tell me, why butterscotch?
It's a rather personal story.
I'm keen to hear it. Figs laughs.
Oh, very well. Once we were sharing a butterscotch sundae, and I exclaimed, yum yum, you know, as people do when they eat something tasty.
Yes, I'm familiar with the situation you describe.
And so she said that I was as delicious as that butterscotch sundae, and then I said no, she was as delicious as the aforementioned sundae, and so on, and so on. And so, when we say butterscotch, it's a reminder of that blessed moment of love.
Fig strokes his chin and looks around his room.
Let me see. I have this Dr. Hickory's book somewhere around here. Ah, there it is.
He pulls a hardcover book out from under a glass of water on his windowsill, taping the glass out the window.
Onto some unsuspecting passersby below.
Oh.
Maybe
That's
Inspector
hidden piece.
Ambrose.
Yes, Ambrose is just tailing us now. Here. Releasing the hidden potential of your hitherto unawakened mind in 12 easy steps. Sounds pretty brainy.
Did you say releasing the hidden potential of your hitherto unawakened mind in 12 easy steps? Figs looks at the cover of the book.
Yes.
That's the book that Aunt Primrose gave Rory to read.
I'm not surprised. She's been reading a good deal of him. People say he's the second coming of Isaac Newton and, some other famous smart person, all rolled into one. She's keen to see what all the fuss is about. She's never met him. The man is practically a recluse. But there's a photo of him on the back. That's what we need.
He shows you the back of the book, which has a rather blurry photo of a fellow with a big bushy ginger mustache and beard.
You see?
Figs says.
You can't see too much of him. If we just get the whiskers right and dress like a genius professor.
Professor.
I'm having so much trouble.
That's how what genius professors call themselves.
I'm genius professor. I'm so smart.
This shouldn't be that funny, but it is.
It's the whiskers. It's difficult to talk around them.
Right.
I'm genius professor with the whiskers. I do a smart. I'm very smart. That's how smart people talk, right?
It's like Fless all over again. Okay.
Also known as flesh.
No!
God
like
fleshed
the
this home.
You're as fresh as home. See, it sounds exactly like what a smart person would say.
If we just get the whiskers right and dress like a genius professor, I should be fine.
So, also, does that description sound familiar?
The red, bushy hair, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's been a little while
Yeah.
since we've heard any descriptions of anyone, Ben.
Well,
I'm guessing fire snuff, perhaps.
No, I mean, we heard before that there was some incident at the train, which is why Hickory couldn't come. So I'm guessing the guy that we came across who was trying to confess his love or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I assume you have the elements of a costume? We'll need a wig, a false bustache.
See, it's spreading. Just the inability to speak is spreading.
I love it.
A false bustache and Meard.
Yeah, you have to say that from now on. It's not a mustache and beard. He has a mustache and Meard. Okay? New rules.
Okay. It's like Firestone snaps.
He snapped again.
Okay. And appropriate... Okay, I'll say this as unflappably as possible. We'll need a wig, a false Meard and bustache, and appropriate clothing, you say.
I rather thought you would take care of that.
Fig said, looking surprised.
Rory always says you are the miracle worker.
Do you have any money with which to purchase a costume?
I have nothing.
Fig shrugs.
That is the nature of the struggling artist's life. Mopsy said you would take care of all that.
You sigh slowly.
Ew.
No, I imagine it's just like all the frustration built up over the day.
Yeah.
A sigh
Yeah.
that slowly degenerates into sobs.
Racked with pain.
Did she indeed? All right. Let us get started.
Make haste, Cotswold. I'm in agony until I behold my Mopsy.
Well, I'm in agony when I behold Rory, and I'm in agony when I don't behold Rory.
So just constant agony.
Yes.
Do you want to break into song about it?
He's thinking.
Agony. I don't think I remember the words anymore.
That's fine. That's
That's
the
the one
important
word.
word.
Yeah, you got that.
You will need to decide how to disguise Figs. You could try to assemble something from whatever odds and ends Figs has lying around his house. That has the advantage of being free, but the quality would likely be poor. There's a theatrical supply store a few blocks away, which would probably have exactly what you need, but they are rather expensive. The middle ground would be to rummage the thrift shop below Figs' building. The thrift shop is cheap, but probably won't have anything perfect. But maybe they'll have something you can use. Do you want to check how much money we have?
Yeah, I think we have like 50 some.
I don't remember.
I don't know what else we'll need it for, though.
We have 50.
I was exactly right. Whoa. There would be the comedic value of just rummaging through his house and finding perhaps useless and terrible disguise. But that disguise might not work, and that might sabotage, Figs and Mopsy's ability to be together, and I wouldn't want to do that. I don't think we should spend 12 on it, though. I think the mid-ground would give us kind of a nice, it would not be a very good disguise, so it would be funny, but it would probably pass, it'd be passable.
Yeah, I'm a cheapskate, so I was thinking middle ground.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. I go to the shrimp shop.
The shrimp shop!
Okay, so it's just like everyone's having trouble today.
I'm doing okay, actually.
It will.
I just have a hoarse voice.
It'll be you next. Don't worry.
Will it? Okay, beautiful. I'm excited. I can't wait for my very own misspeaking.
I'm going to the Schrifttop. I'll just be a moment. Figs nods and picks up a tube of orange paint, squeezing it in a melancholy manner, mostly onto a pigment-encrusted palette.
Thank you, Cotswold. You are my savior.
You step carefully down the narrow and creaky staircase of Figs's building and enter Jonas Troy Waite's House of Shrift.
Shrift.
It's where you get short shrift.
Oh.
Jonas Troy Waite's House of Thrift is a silent, cluttered establishment with a healthy coating of dust on every surface. Actually, healthy may not be the operative word here. Shelves of unwanted books, unattractive glass and porcelain goods, and racks of clothes fill nearly every inch of the store. The shopkeeper, clearly none other than Jonas Troy Waite himself, leans heavily on the counter, bracing himself as he coughs and sneezes. Who wants to be Jonas Troy Waite?
I can be him. We haven't had a Callie voice in a little while.
Good day. Do you have any clothes that could be considered professorial?
Do you think I should just give him a really weird speech impediment where he puts shh into everything he says?
Just do whatever seems right.
Do I wash?
Have any clothes that a professor might wear? Something a bit elegant that says, I am among the Intelligentsia. Mr. Troy Waite issues forth a long and lingering cough, and then wipes his mouth on the back of his sleeve.
I might have something, maybe.
He seems doubtful.
Like trousers, you mean?
Trousers would be involved, yes. But I'm looking for something that gets across a sense of respectability. Mr. Troy Waite tilts his head.
Maybe I do have something like shash. You want to look all fancy, eh? The whole get-up with trousers and so forth? I think I have something.
He stopped to correct himself.
It's a bit old.
He paused through a few racks and pulls out some options. On the counter sits a pair of very wide-legged, dark gray sponge bag trousers, a white dress shirt, and a tweed jacket.
Fairly good shape.
He says.
Maybe a mice big, but bush-ish could work.
What else do you have? He holds up a buff corduroy suit. It would work well if it were not simply covered with grass stains. Even the beige tie that goes with it has grass stains. Seeing your face, he motions towards the final items, a shabby raccoon coat and a long fringed scarf.
I understand this is a very popular at universities. It covers your whole body, keeps you nice and warm. Yeah?
A few moths fly out of the pockets of the coat.
I'm willing to let this go for a very reasonable price on account of it being a little while used. I have no idea what kind of accent this is. It's probably just made up.
He's from Shushershland.
Shire.
Yeah, Cheshire.
Shire.
Yeah, which is actually spelled Tashhhaugh.
Yeah, I want to see that written out on like a sign, and then I'll understand it. Maybe.
I don't actually remember what I just said.
No, but when we go back in editing, we'll have the opportunity, and then it'll look really bad, and we'll make fun of you. Like, Ben, what was that word?
Yeah, well, it's that plus shire at the end, I suppose. If it's...
Shire.
Yeah.
Dragons. Okay, we have choice.
Yeah, mull over your options, considering the price tags and the outfit's potential for a disguise.
And I was thinking that we'd just be using 6 readies.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for all this, but I think that the raccoon is a very bad idea.
Oh, you're making it sound like he's going to be wearing a literal raccoon.
Yeah, a live raccoon. A coat made of live raccoons is what I'm interpreting.
Oh.
And its moth friends.
I don't know. The grass stains could be interesting. I don't know how we're gonna explain that, but I mean,
We have a high persuasion.
Yes, but wait a minute.
Figs probably doesn't.
She said that we know the guy is a recluse, right?
Yeah, I wonder what the other characters' stats would look like.
Maybe the raccoon coat would fly if this dude's a recluse, because we could be like, this is what I wear up in the mountains when I'm at home. I don't know. That's what I picture a recluse would be like.
I feel like most of the other characters actually would not have very good stats in, like, anything.
I'd say either the middle of the road or the raccoon nightmare. Because if we're just going to totally fail it, we might as well fail it with style, or lack thereof.
But we don't want to totally fail it.
Plus, then we can make raccoon jokes.
The raccoon jokes are pretty appealing. My thinking is you can dress any real person up in any real outfit and it will still be that person. I don't think that the facial hair and things like that we can afford to go cheap on. Because we could just be somebody in a very silly outfit. Let's go raccoon coat!
I take the moth-eaten raccoon, which, while a poor disguise, is quite cheap.
Can we just, for all intents and purposes, say that he's, like, dressed as whatever the college's mascot is? Which is a raccoon now?
Yeah.
And that he's just showing off his school pride, see?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Don't worry, guys. He's fine. Lovely. High quality clothes at a discounted price.
Mr. Schroywaite says.
You won't be sorry.
Now, I also need some, a wig and a false beard and mustache, ginger in color.
Such a strange request. Why do you need sash?
I'd probably just say it's a practical joke. I don't know.
Okay. As part of a practical joke I intend to play.
What if he tries to make it look funny now, though?
I mean, that's... I thought of that. That's the
risk we run.
Yep.
Let's find out.
Must be quite a joke if you need a wig and a false beard and mustache. Sorry, false beard and mustache.
I certainly hope it will be. He shakes his head.
All right, I suppose I can't argue with that.
He starts searching through a large bucket. Much appreciated.
I think I have a few old things.
He pulls out a double handful of ratty old wigs. It is impossible to tell what color they are, unless dusty counts as a color. You pick out the best-looking wig, as it were, and hold it between your thumb and forefinger. He pokes around some more.
I don't have any Meard or Bustaches, but I suppose you could make one from one of these wigs. Very simple.
He tears a wig in half, releasing millions of spores and dust mites and miscellaneous particulate matter into the air.
Here's your facial hair. Just poke a hole in the middle for your mouth. I'll show you what. I'll slow all shots in at no extra cost.
He says.
Which have to yours.
You feel filthy as you emerge and return to Figg's studio, which looks positively sparkling by comparison with Mr. Schroywaite's establishment. Or Schroywaish?
Schroywaish. The accent is fighting back.
I really appreciate everything you've done, Cotswold.
Fig says.
It's all just as I hoped.
Is? You say, surprised. Figgs takes the outfit and steps behind a dressing screen to change into it, and you take a moment to collect yourself.
Oh, I
Great.
like this.
Fig says, the raccoon wrapped around him.
Oh,
You're just calling it a raccoon now.
Yes.
Okay.
how about raccoon disguise? That has a good vibe to it.
It's rather warm. It looks like how those fellows all dress at university sporting events. I feel very motivated in this.
The
He
raccoon...
recognized it. The sporting event. He understands what we were going for.
The raccoon is quite ratty looking, but it does cover Figs entirely. You'll have to leave the raccoon on during dinner, you say. We should probably think about what you should wear underneath it.
How is he gonna eat if he's wearing this, like, I'm picturing this very big, like, with a mustache and, like, oh.
Just has a hole in it for his mouth, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
And he'll share with the raccoon.
Yeah, and the mom.
Yay!
No, I like this.
He sweeps the fringed scarf over one shoulder.
I'm going to just wear this over my house togs.
I don't know if that's advisable, sir. Figs admires himself for a long time in front of his mirror.
How do I look, Cutsold? Could I pass for this professor chap in this getup?
If you are lucky, yes.
Oh. I'm not lucky, though.
He broods a bit, then brightens.
But I have you. And you are about the luckiest person I've ever met. How should I comport myself in there, Cotswold? What do you recommend as a strategy? What is the secret of your own success at handling difficult situations?
Above all, I would advise you to...
I mean, if we want to be good, probably number 2.
act in a dignified and reserved manner with attention to manners and proper behavior. You don't want to stand out too much and attract attention. That one?
But I think that would be the safest.
And we want to be safe, right?
Yeah, let's go with that then. I mean, we have the jank outfit, so we're doing at least one very goofy thing.
And that's your secret to success?
That is what I might do if I were in your position, and if I had your, particular gifts.
All right, Cutsold. Let's see about this wig and beard.
Figs makes an effort to clean off one dusty wig by beating it against his leg, and then puts it on. Considering himself in the mirror, he holds the wig with the mouth hole in it up to his face. Then he issues forth a series of powerful sneezes.
Achoo.
So authentic.
I like that better.
My eyes are watering terribly.
He says.
I suppose it will have to do.
You open a window to air out the place.
I think this will do.
Figs says at last.
I have here a few different types of adhesive left over from an old project I was working on. Which should I use?
He indicates the options sitting on a low stool.
Geez, Figs, it's like you can't think for yourself at all.
There is some of that new sellotape you've been seeing advertisements for. That would have the advantage of being the most comfortable for Figs, but it will probably not look quite as natural as other adhesives. There's a very old and dusty bottle of...
I was going to say, I usually use spirit gum for this kind of thing, and that's an option.
There's a very old and dusty bottle of spirit gum, which will look best of all, but can be rather uncomfortable to wear, and the age of the bottle gives you pause. Bottled in
But does it give the raccoon pause?
1483. Okay. 1483 BC. Interesting.
Didn't even know they had the writing system for that back then.
Didn't know they
The
called
good
it...
old vintage stuff.
Didn't know they called it BC back then. They already knew what they were counting down.
Counting down to the sea. What about the glue?
Finally, there's also some strong glue, which is reasonably comfortable to wear and would look fine. However, there's the problem of the unpleasant odor of glue, which will certainly linger on your person. Clearly, you say, a situation like this calls for...
It's like, I don't really care about how comfortable Figs is. He can withstand some
Well, but
stuff.
If he's constantly itching his face, that would be bad.
I guess. It's like there's no one option that's clearly the best, because each of them have their own downfalls. But I feel like the worst case scenario would be if the beard just came off. Like, that's the one thing we don't want to happen. It's fine if Figs is uncomfortable for a little bit.
Let's go with, I don't know, like I would probably think glue would be good. I mean, he can be a smelly dude. I mean, he's already wearing, like, a raccoon. So if that doesn't bother them, then I don't think glue smell would.
I guess go with the glue. We want it to stay on. That's, like, the most important thing.
A situation like this calls for glue. Glue will afford us a happy medium, you say.
Smells like turpentine,
Figs says.
Don't complain, you smell like turpentine all the time, Figs.
Freshly applied, it does have an odor, you admit with false confidence, but it will fade. You squeeze some glue in thin lines across the back of the false facial hair, and then press it onto Figs's face, holding firmly for several minutes.
I feel a little woozy,
says Figs.
Better sit down.
You are already sitting, sir, you say.
Oh.
Figs says. Do you think you can manage?
I can manage anything, actually.
Figs says.
I actually feel very good, like I'm floating.
As you feared, you smell a bit like glue now. In fact, you feel fairly good yourself. You shake your head to try to clear it. Figs inspects himself in the mirror.
Not bad,
Figs says.
I think we'll all be able to do this, Cotswold, won't we?
We really have to leave now, sir, or we will miss the start of dinner. It's hard to peel Figs away from the mirror, so taken is he with his appearance. Why? You summon a cab and tell the driver to drive to Ritornello with all speed. In the cab, Figs chatters away about true love and the delights it brings, and you look out the window, his voice fading out as you allow your thoughts to wander. Who or what do you daydream about?
I'd say either Rory or a vacation. This is all very stressful.
I feel like this is one of those options where it's like, hey, look, choose your love interest, so I'd go with Rory.
Rory!
Yeah, I think this is a pretty significant one, so, you probably...
I mean, everyone else hates us, so, I mean, we kind of have to go for Rory.
Frankincense does actually like us, so she could be a backup, but, yeah.
Rory!
Rory, whom I love. Rory. You mentally run through your favorite times with Rory, the ridiculous situations you and he have found yourselves in, the escapade with the jade statue of the chicken, the mix-up at the golf tournament, and of course that rummy affair with his cousins Boffo and Cookie. Each time Rory found himself deeply in trouble, and you were always there to pull him out of it, but now you know that you want more. You think about the kiss and settle back in the seat. Figs drones on. Then you think about Rory and Frankincense together, and it feels as though something has drained out of you, or perhaps that your heart has been swapped with a rock. As you arrive, the cab is stopped by Fielding, one of Aunt Primrose's men, assigned to greet vehicles and be a presence at the front gate. Fielding, a stout and jovial chap, all sandy blonde hair and freckles, jumps up from the chair he was leaning back in and puts the book he was examining down on the seat.
Do you want to take him, Emily? I took the last bit part.
Hello, Cotswold.
Fielding says, grinning, peering into the cab. He waves to the driver, who he happens to know from around town.
And who are you?
He peers at Figs.
Oh,
says Figs.
Distracting lie sounds fun.
We're not good at, skullduggery.
Oh,
I don't
you're
know
right.
if that would count as skullduggery, but...
We could just kind of, like, smoothly respond then. Because we know the right answer. That's actually probably what I would do if I was in the situation anyways. This is the professor or somebody so-and-so.
There can be a bit of a conflict sometimes between making The choice that seems likeliest to succeed, and the choice that sounds funniest.
We're already wearing the raccoons.
Right.
We are wearing that choice with pride.
Okay, so I try to smoothly respond for Fig so that he doesn't make a mistake.
Yes.
The most effective thing to do would be to introduce them both, to give Figs a moment to gain his equilibrium. This is the world-renowned professor of psychology, Clarence Q. Hickory, you say. Professor Hickory, this is Fielding,
My goodness, Professor Hickory.
says Fielding.
Wait,
Yes.
wait. Does Figs have a voice he's doing for Professor Hickory?
I kind of feel like Figs would just still use his own voice.
This is probably true. I was giving him too much credit. You're right. Go ahead.
Yes, I am Professor Hickory.
Says Figs.
I am Professor Hickory very much. And I'm glad to meet you. You seem an upstanding young man.
Fielding goes around to Figs' side of the car and looks at him very carefully, running his eyes over Figs' false beard. Is there a problem, Fielding?
No problem.
Fielding says.
I just wanted to see what a genius looks like. Mrs. Patterson said Professor Hickory was a genius. Oh,
Figs says, sighing, his body clearly relaxing.
I hope you got a good look. You can read all about my genius in my books. I've written 14 of them. Some of them are real corkers. Well, everything seems to be in order.
Fielding says.
I have one of your books right here that Mrs. Patterson gave me to look at. Sure is an honor to meet the author.
Well, why don't we say that we'll tell about his excellent gate guarding? Just kind of like schmooze a little.
I shall tell Mrs. Patterson of your excellent gate guarding.
Yes.
That means a good deal to me, Cotswold. Thank you. I'm hoping to get promoted this year. Well, have a good evening, Cotswold, Professor Hickory.
And he waves the cab driver through.
Ta-da! We did it.
And we arrive.
So far. Yeah. All right.
And
well,
then
should
we
probably
get
call
to
it
go through the whole Figs in disguise
Dun 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 dun
actual
dun. Yeah, I love it.
scene.